Homo sapiens sapiens, the wise human, is the lone survivor of the tangled and tumultuous tree of our ancestry. While other species vanished one by one from the stage of life, it was this lineage that endured, that seized its fate, and carved its mark upon the earth. What set this human apart was not merely an upright stance or the tools in hand, but a mind capable of imagining futures, recalling pasts, and weaving the world together through language and story. This was the being who built societies reaching beyond blood and tribe, forging vast networks of cooperation that propelled him ahead of every rival, and wrote history in his name. 70,000 years ago, in the silence of the world, a flame was lit in the human mind. A flame that carried him beyond the boundaries of instinct, opening the path to thought, to imagination, to the shaping of futures. Archaeological evidence reveals that in the late Middle Paleolithic, around 70,000 years ago, a profound transformation emerged in the mental and cognitive capacities of our ancestors. Scholars call this event the cognitive revolution, a turning point that awakened entirely new powers within humankind. These abilities allowed humans to craft innovations, to adapt with astonishing resilience, and to set foot firmly in every new environment, slowly but surely spreading across the face of the earth. Homo sapiens sapiens is the common ancestor of every person alive today. And yet, despite billions of us scattered across the globe, our genetic diversity is strikingly less than that found among Africa's chimpanzee populations. This truth speaks of a past marked by dire bottlenecks, when our numbers dwindled to mere thousands, or perhaps only hundreds. From that fragile remnant arose the humans who would one day populate the world, adapting to each new land and shaping their existence within it. It is for this reason that today we see physical differences among peoples, Africans, Asians, Europeans, distinctions shaped at times by the environment, at times by other forces. Take, for instance, the spectrum of skin color. In regions of harsh ultraviolet radiation, dark melanin shields the body from harm, giving rise to the deepest tones near the equator. Farther from the sun, lighter skin allows precious rays to penetrate, enabling the body to produce essential vitamins for survival. Yet all these outward differences do not divide us into separate biological categories. The attempt to define human races from a biological perspective proves fruitless, for such variations are but recent flickers in the long arc of evolution. In the end, we are all branches sprung from the same root. The earliest traces of modern behavior emerged from Africa itself, as though the roots of this cognitive revolution lay hidden in the very land that first gave birth to humankind. The structure of the modern brain already existed in early humans, with anatomically modern bodies. Thus, it seems likely that the seeds of modern behavior were sown alongside their appearance, waiting only for time to awaken those latent capacities and bring them into full bloom. Yet one fundamental question remains. What, some 70 to 50,000 years ago, sparked this awakening? Many scholars believe it was the invention and mastery of complex language, the key that unlocked the symbolic mind of humankind. Language not only made thought visible, but also gave rise to storytelling, to symbols, to the exchange of ideas and beliefs. It may well have been the very thread that bound groups of humans together, allowing mental and cultural innovations to spread across the ancient world with unprecedented speed. After the early migrations of the Middle Paleolithic, journeys that had not yet brought humankind to mastery of the globe, a new generation arose. Homo sapiens sapiens. Armed with sharper cognitive powers and more complex behavior than any who came before, they stepped beyond Africa between 70 and 50,000 years ago. Their paths carried them across Eurasia and Australia, and at last to the distant islands of Oceania and the uncharted lands of the Americas. But this great dispersal was no straight march. It was more like a river, finding its way through twists and branches, sometimes stilled in isolation, sometimes joining again in renewed flow. Opportunities and environments shaped their course, at times holding them apart, at times weaving them together, always driving the search for new horizons. And it is this winding history that echoes today in the faces, colors, and forms of humankind. A diversity visible, yet in truth, only surface deep, for its roots trace back to a single, shared journey. The oldest signs of modern humans in Europe date to about 54,000 years ago. Archaeologists first uncovered their remains in western France and named them Cro-Magnon, after the very site where their bones first came to light. These Cro-Magnons, heirs of the earth at the dawn of the Upper Paleolithic, crafted their tools within a new tradition, the Aurignacian. It marked the beginning of an industry that had its origins in Africa's Stone Age and endured in Europe until the close of the last Ice Age. But the traces they left behind were not only in stone and blades. The Cro-Magnons wove a world of symbols and meaning. Their cave paintings, masterpieces etched into the depths of caverns, in the darkest of passages, stand as testimony to a mind that had moved beyond mere survival into the realms of imagination, ritual, and mystery. Why were these images painted in places hidden from common sight? The answer remains uncertain. Yet scholars, drawing on the traditions of today's hunter-gatherer tribes, believe these works may have been part of hunting rituals, a dialogue with the spirits of animals, a plea for permission before taking their lives. Among the most renowned of these creations are the caves of Chauvet and Lascaux in France, and Altamira in Spain. With their age of more than 30,000 years, they shine like jewels upon the crown of history. Their walls are alive with astonishing depictions of animals, rendered with breathtaking realism and exquisite detail. It is as if the first artists sought not merely to paint the creatures, but to capture and eternalize their very spirit upon the rock. The first whispers of carving, however, did not emerge on cavern walls, but in small, delicate figurines crafted at the heart of Europe. In Germany, artifacts were uncovered that rival the cave paintings of France and Spain in age, and some even surpass them in antiquity. In 1931, the Vogelherd Cave near the city of Ulm revealed a treasure beyond compare, a collection of animal figurines carved from mammoth ivory. Without exaggeration, these are among the oldest masterpieces of human art. Tiny sculptures, no more than 5 to 10 centimeters in length, yet brimming with meaning and finesse. A pendant shaped like a horse, a mighty mammoth, the head of a lion adorned with dots, lines, and X-shaped motifs, all testify to a restless, searching creativity. But Vogelherd was not only the resting place of these small carvings. Its soil yielded stone tools, the broken and charred bones of hunted animals, implements fashioned from horn and bone, and even fragments of flutes carved from bird bones and ivory. Here, music, art, and the chase all converged, a vivid tableau of the earliest societies of modern humans. In another cave in Germany, a wondrous relic emerged from the depths of time. A 31-centimeter statue carved from mammoth ivory. A human body crowned with the head of a lion. The Lion Man, the oldest known abstract creation of the modern human mind, is a legacy from 35,000 to 40,000 years ago. Alongside it were found ivory pendants and pierced animal teeth, yet none bear the same air of mystery as the Lion Man himself, This figure reveals an extraordinary power of the human mind, the ability to fuse what exists in nature with what lives only in imagination. Lion and man, seen separately in the wild, were merged in the Paleolithic artist's mind to bring forth a new being. Such creations testify that modern humans, unlike any other creature, could conceive of realities beyond daily experience, the origin and the end, life and death, the very future yet to come. In France and Spain, flutes carved mainly from vulture bone were unearthed, instruments capable of producing intricate melodies. And if Homo sapiens sapiens played music, then surely they danced, they sang, and gathered around blazing fires outside their shelters, sharing stories of the world and their dreams with one another. If we look at the Upper Paleolithic through the lens of art, among its most astonishing legacies are the female figurines we now call Venuses. Small statuettes carved from ivory, bone, or stone. Their forms marked by exaggerated feminine features. Their meaning remains a subject of debate, yet many researchers believe these figurines, scattered from Central Asia to the Middle East and across Europe, were symbols of fertility, of life, of the eternal cycle of generations, a reverence for the great mystery of birth. In Russia, at the site of Sunghir, an extraordinary burial revealed another window into this ancient world. An old man laid to rest in a shroud adorned with hundreds of ivory beads. Each bead may have taken hours to craft, together bearing witness to boundless patience and immeasurable devotion. The body was adorned with bracelets, necklaces, a beaded headdress, and other ornaments. Archaeologists date this grave to some 28,000 years ago, yet the wonder did not end there. In the very same place, two children lay side by side, accompanied by two straightened mammoth tusks, each over 2 meters long. Naturally curved in form, these tusks had been made straight in some mysterious way. To this day, scholars have found no definitive answer as to how such a feat was achieved. A trace, perhaps, of lost knowledge, or of a ritual whose meaning has been surrendered to the silence of millennia. In 1998, in a land called Lascaux in Portugal, workers, digging a road, unwittingly unearthed secrets buried for thousands of years. The skeleton of a young child, who had lived 24,000 years ago. Studies revealed that the child belonged to Homo sapiens sapiens, yet his small frame bore the imprint of a more ancient past. Evidence suggests that among his close ancestors were Neanderthals, a mingling that left subtle traces of Neanderthal anatomy within this 4-year-old. His body had been covered with red ochre before being laid in the earth, a sign of ritual, of reverence, and perhaps of hope for a world beyond death. Alongside this discovery, other tools surfaced from the soil. Needles of bone and ivory pierced at one end. Clear evidence of progress in the art of sewing, small yet decisive steps in the human journey to master nature and to shape a new world of his own making. At the close of this age, humanity was no longer merely the hunter of the earth. He stood at the threshold of creating an entirely new world. The Upper Paleolithic came to an end, but the story of humankind had only just begun. The Mesolithic, the age between the Paleolithic and the Neolithic, was the bridge between the darkness of caves and the light of the first villages. An age of transition. The dawn of a revolution that would transform not just the way humans lived, but the very destiny of our species. For beyond it, a world was born to which there could be no return.